What's up, everyone? Welcome to the latest episode of Power Spike. It's your boy dGon here, alongside Dom and Jamada, to break down the things in the world across LoL Esports. It has been quite some time since our last episode. It has been quite a week since then. So just quick touch up. Dom, how you been, man?
Pretty good. Getting back into it. Getting back into doing the full grind again. It's kind of weird because this year there's like no break. Just feels like you're just going the entire time. Which I don't know if that's good for viewers. I've noticed that like normally we have like a week one summer like buffer where people come back and they watch a lot in week one, and then you have the middle of summer where like league is as dead as possible. But it feels like people kind of have just experienced like the big peak in the beginning of winter and then slow decline from spring, summer. It just feels like there's less and less hype, and then Worlds will be obviously huge again. So kind of just feels like a little bit weird from the competitive standpoint, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that happens no matter what the format. I will say there are definitely, just mathematically, more games here in the LCK, and it feels like there's always some sort of action happening to go from MSI to then straight into EWC to then, for a team like GenG, land on the plane or land off the plane straight to LoL Park and then play the same day. The schedule has been pretty hectic. And I mean, even for a team like T1, they land on the same plane. They don't play, but then they have to go do their home ground stuff. So yeah, it feels like the breaks that you've taken and like the co-streamers have taken have been man-made, not necessarily like scheduled kind of breaks. Jamada, how about you, man? How have you been over the last couple weeks?
Good. Just, chilling, enjoying what little content there is, and subsequently, weirdly, isn't at the same time with everything going on with the end of MSI, EWC, start of the split and such. But yeah, I definitely feel the burnout thing, because I think it's closer to burnout than anything like two, because there really isn't there's no stop. Like we really are just going one place, next place, one place, next place immediately. And I felt this way, especially when, if you recall, a couple of years ago, they specifically made the schedule of all of the regions try to line up so that on any given day, basically for almost 24 hours, is something silly like 20, there's basically always League of Legends on somewhere in the world. And they shifted away from that, but now we have the free split format anyway to take its place. So that little gap of like no games for maybe 4 or 5 days, like anywhere in any of the major regions, it was nice to kind of just turn your brain off and not be living, breathing League of Legends for a hot minute.
Yeah, I think burnout is kind of an interesting way to look at it and think about it. I felt that mostly right before our road to MSI finals, so like the spring second split finals here for LCK. I felt it most then, and then I had like about two weeks break before the MSI matches really started heating up, and we had our MSI coverage, and then in the EWC, and then now it's, I think if I looked at the calendar, it's 6 weeks straight of regular season into the play-ins, into playoffs over at LCK. On top of that, managing the LPL and keeping an eye on the LTA North and a little bit of South, now that I got to hang out with some LTA South homies. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Speaking of burnout and maybe understanding if people wanted to take a break, Faker said no and decided to sign not 1, not 2, not 3, but a 4-year extension, I guess. Yeah, 4-year extension. His contract runs through 2029 and will keep the lights on across all esports if he plays it all the way out through then. Even at the level that he's playing now, he's incredible. We're running out of words to describe what this man is and does, and he'll do it for 4 more years. There are, especially on this show, we've talked about times where there are dips in his performance, and it looks like maybe it's 1 year too many, and then he goes off and wins a Worlds, and then the next season comes off, and it's like, oh, things aren't looking good. Maybe he's a little injured. Maybe that wrist is not doing so well, and then he comes back and does it again. But Faker signed 4 years. When you hear that news, Jamada, what do you think?
I mean, firstly, I just have to thank Faker personally for keeping bums like myself, IWillDominate, and of course dGon employed for an additional 4 years. That's the real headliner here. But like, realistically, it's obviously fantastic, right? Like, I think for someone of his stature to still be willing to put pen to paper to say, yeah, like mentally, I'm in it for 4 years is like obviously very, very incredible. We can have our critiques of his gameplay whenever he goes through these stints of like, underperformance or however you want to frame it. But frankly, he is the lifeblood of a lot of League of Legends, right? Not just the LCK. He is the lifeblood of a lot of League of Legends. So I think him staying or wanting to stay active for at least another 4 years is a very positive thing for LoL Esports as a whole. And yeah, I think it's just mad to me, because we had the conversation a few months ago, or like kind of during MSI, surrounding the question that got posed to Caps about his retirement, and I mentioned like, hey, like if there's anyone that deserves to retire, it's kind of Faker, right? Like he's completed the game 5 times, and he's got a long ass career, and he's at the point in life where most people would probably go, I've kind of done everything. Like hanging up wouldn't be too bad. But the guy doesn't want to hang up the mouse and keyboard. He's not ready for it. So I'm happy that he's sticking around, because at the end of the day, he's fucking Faker. Like what else is there to say? And yeah, hopefully he can keep on staying at this high level of performance in terms of when he hits those peaks, he really hits those peaks. Because when he's doing that, he's undeniably the most enjoyable player to watch.
I love that. He said he completed the game 5 times. He's on New Game Plus number 5. Dumb.
6.
What do you make of this news?
Plus
5.
I don't really know what to make of it, because I guess my perception of Faker is different. Like I always thought he would end his career on T1. Like I can't imagine him playing for another team. And I feel like that's the significant part here, right? Because he can still retire, right? Like it's not like he's guaranteed to play out his contract. The main significant part of this is it pretty much means that he won't be able to play for another team without some type of buyout or something like that. He still has the ability to retire within the next 4 years or whatever if he wants to. So I guess for me it's like it was like a bit of a nothing burger, because I just always expected him to stay on T1. I never saw him playing on another team. So like, I mean, I think it's cool, but I also don't think that it's like the vibe I get is not, oh, well, this means that he's going to, he'll just keep on playing forever. Then like he's 4 more years. Holy shit. It's like, he might play. Like, I didn't think he was retiring anytime soon. Like I thought he was at least going to play a couple more years, and then we'll see if he wants to stay on T1. So, yeah, I guess for me, I'm not sure if people understand how the contracts work in esports, because I think a lot of people were like automatically assuming that this means that like, oh wow, he's going to be at least like, that means the first time he can retire will be 33. Like it seemed like there was a lot of that type of like rhetoric, which is just not how it works. So I was just like, I guess, confused by the response, because like Faker's obviously like he's going to stay on T1, right? Like Faker is T1. Can you imagine Faker at this point going to another team? Like
That was the thing. That was the dream, right? You're seeing Messi kind of come over. You saw Beckham come over, play some MLS. You're thinking, hey, LTA, America's not so bad. I've had some of my greatest memories winning championships in LA, and obviously lost someone in San Francisco. But you're thinking maybe we get one more venture capital influx of money there, because people were saying, oh, well, he's part owner of T1. He was going to stay no matter what. Bjergsen moved. He's part owner of TSM. He still moved to 2 teams. So you're thinking maybe there's a chance Team Liquid, Faker,
I guess
money,
yeah.
Marvel movie.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
I'm not bought in there. I have one final closing thought though.
Yeah.
For any Faker haters out there are very few. But remember, Faker is almost 30. The fuckery cannot go on for much longer. It can't go on for much longer.
All right, like you got to find that LeBron tweet. It's a classic.
Jesus.
Yeah. But I like your point there, Dom. It's just more of signing exclusivity and less about 4 more years playing. That's what that really locks it into. And I can see Joe and Josh having that conversation with him, being like, hey, look, decision's still yours, but for us to continue selling this hype train, we need the investors to think it's 4 more years so we can get these 3 to 4 year deals locked in and bring the cash on in. So, there we go.
I mean, for context, like people were asking Caps about retirement and all that stuff, and he was under a contract until 2027. So it's like normally on the industry side of things, people don't care about contract length unless you're trying to like get a player on your team.
Yeah. Yes. There's so much turn. Actually, I was talking about this with someone earlier, Dom, and maybe you can speak. Actually, I think you can speak to it. I feel like I rarely heard players hold it against their former team. You know, like be like, fuck them. I want to beat them real bad because they didn't resign me or whatever. Like something like that. Did you either have that or did you encounter that with other players? I always felt like players were either mature or like butthurt and didn't know how to handle it and would just be like, I guess this is how it goes.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. Like obviously with TSM, there was a lot of people that would leave TSM and then want to beat TSM because of like how they're treated. Like I remember like Sven Scared wouldn't say it explicitly, but you could tell that he wanted to beat TSM when he was on Cloud9. I think there was the double F thing with TL, right? Because TL kicked him when he was like, oh, Spring Split doesn't matter and all that stuff. So I've definitely seen it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like it's not as rampant as I like feel it in other sports, but just a random thought. Speaking of burnout again and potentially moving on and Faker flipping the script, instead we had a colleague, pioneer of the space, call it a career for now, leaving the door open because that's just what you do. Mr. Travis Gafford saying that he is going to indefinitely be stepping away from League of Legends content and possibly looking at other projects. You can imagine that's Magic the Gathering and Riftbound. Travis has made a massive impact on how League of Legends content is consumed. He's obviously pulled back recently over the years. He and I have obviously, we've been parallel and working in the same realm as well. And I think his legacy will be that he would always show up and do the work. Like people can say whatever about the type of work he did or whatever, but I think the thing that I always remember about Travis is that he would show up, do the work, get the content, and push it as much as he could, as much as he felt to at that time. But he was consistent. And I think he's a testament to that and a reason why League content became a thing. League of Legends esports content became a thing. It wasn't just, hey, this is about a game. It was, hey, here he is on the ground being the storyteller of so many of these players, these teams, of Riot at times. And he has decided to indefinitely call it quits after a pretty amazing career. So just want to get your thoughts there. And we'll start with you, Dom.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad to see. It's sad to see so many people, retiring. But I think it's just the nature of like what's happening right now in the industry, right? Like people will say, oh, it doesn't mean the league's dying, which like I kind of agree with. No, it doesn't technically mean that league is dying, but the way that things feel in North America, I can speak to this. Like the feel is very bad within North America. Like it just doesn't feel great. I mean, the numbers are all going down. We had the first year that was like an up year in a long time, and then it instantly started going down again. The decisions don't feel like they're made with the best interest of league in general, and I feel like he's somebody who's like a product of the ecosystem, and he's like a barometer for like how North American League is doing. Like if North American League is doing well, then probably his interviews are doing well. Like he's somebody who married himself to North American League specifically with things like Hotline League and then doing, the LCS interviews after every single week. And yeah, it's kind of sad to see how things are going, because I doubt if things were going amazing, he would stay, right? Like, or
Yeah.
he would leave. Like he would stay if things were going well. So just is what it is, man. Like times are tough right now in North American League of Legends, and I just wonder what will be done. Like, what is the end game going to look like? That's the main thing I'm looking at.
I think it's what is currently happening, which is consolidation, right? You're seeing consolidations in the league, right? They tried to consolidate with Brazil and LATAM, and they will continue to try to do that. Consolidations within co-streams, right? A lot of the LTA co-streamers co-stream together. I think it's a lot of consolidation, and maybe some that will be good. Right now, it hasn't proved to be the best, and we won't be consolidating with Travis's interviews anymore. That does give space to other content creators within the media and journalist space over in LTA. So when it comes to mine, Cloud Sicky is someone that's been there for a long time. Obviously, Arsh, when he comes down and does his interviews, and the Namen podcast and Namen crew. Oh my gosh, I'm missing one. Go ahead, Jamada, you put your thoughts on Travis, and I'll continue to give the shout outs for
I mean, for me with Travis, it's almost a bit weird because I actually went on Hotline League last night and spoke
dare
with him
you
for a little bit.
I'm kidding.
I'm a frequent cheater. But for me, it's weird because one, I'm especially sat next to you guys. I am basically a baby still, like in the league space. Like, I've got like 5 or 6 years in the esports ecosystem, like in terms of experience, but still, compared to Travis is basically 15, right? Night and day there. So it kind of feels like I'm watching someone who I didn't really get to know too well, but knew the importance of, like, almost die in a way, not to be like super morbid. But that's like the overall kind of gist of the feel for me. And like Dom was saying, in the same ways that he's kind of married to League in his content, I do feel as though it's to a point a bit of a sign of, like, if he felt like North American content was good, he probably wouldn't be hanging it up, right? Like the passion flames would still definitely be there, because for most of us that is how it feels, whether some of us wanted to admit it or not. So it does kind of make you wonder, like, who bears the torch in a way, because Travis was in many ways a bit of a torchbearer for like NA journalism. Obviously dGon, you were bringing up a couple, but he was kind of a small hub for the very frequent on the ground, wanting to be forward of their opinions, part of the community, right? So about that, how much of that community do we still kind of hear from, engage with, etc., on as regular a basis as things like Hotline League and just overall his content kind of allowed a lot of people to do. So I hope someone does kind of try to step in, and it almost sounds like not to rob the grave here, but takes that place to a point, because I think it's important for any community to have that kind of figurehead present. But yeah, it just feels strange, and I hope for him personally, he feels more fulfilled with whatever he ends up going to do. Obviously, there's a lot of talk of like the Riftbound and MTG, and I think from the people that I've spoken to who are a little bit more connected to Travis, it does seem like he is just a lot more alive and a lot more passionate about those things right now, and that's fine, right? Like, even from a career perspective, you spend 14 years doing the same thing, more or less, over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
You're gonna get bored of it eventually. Like, there's only so much that one person could take, and that barrier is going to be different for everyone, right? So yeah, again, hopefully Travis feels happy with the decision he's made, and he's got some fulfilling plans coming up. But also, again, as Dom was echoing the sentiments of, I think it is a small part of the times, and I think especially considering what was a really positive 2024, because I think everyone saw that, like even externally, everyone was enjoying the LCS last year, myself included. Actually, I fucking loved the LCS last year, and the overall vibe, and it felt like everyone was really getting back on board with the product after like what 4+ years of like just straight almost disdain for its overall direction.
Yeah.
To then have everything that's happened this year with the formats and the consolidation of LTA North and South into effectively just the Americas region, it's been a big miss with everyone. Like I don't think I've heard someone say, yeah, these changes are fucking awesome. I haven't bumped into that opinion yet, and I think that says a lot because people like to be outspoken and people like to be oddballs out. So, yeah, R.I.P. Travis in League is kind of the sign off.
Yeah,
I have a question. How come when he was doing his video and he said, "I've been in League for a long time," he went to an interview of me and him from 13 years ago? That was the immediate thing that he's like, "Look at how long I've been in esports." Here's a picture. Here's a fucking video of me and Dom from fucking 2012. Like, why is that a thing that we're doing?
He was like, "Hey, you know this washed up co-streamer? This is when he was. This is when he was playing,
mate. You were there when the cavemen started playing around with like flint and steel. So I'm not surprised that I bring you on for the first clip, man. Come on,
that is just an insane clip.
Yeah,
whatever, man. Whatever. I give up.
That was a pretty deep cut. Yeah, just when I think about it, you know, he was there day in, day out, and for most of it, I think near the end he started kind of peeling off, and I think that's when I had some success there. But even then, like there's when you bring up when you do something for such a long time and you know you eventually get bored of it, I think of just other sports casters and broadcasters that continually got to do that work and continually got to be in the forefront. So I wouldn't even say that's what it is. I just don't think it's as rewarding and as sustainable, like even for Travis. So that's what I think it is. I think it's just, hey, the ecosystem has got less sustainable for some of these external storytellers, and so now it's even time for him to move on. And I hope that the new crew that comes up and steps up are hungry and are creative and are great tastemakers and storytellers here that can find the right angle to continue to be entertaining to themselves, which hopefully resonates with the next set of audience, whether that is an older crowd or a younger crowd, just finding the passion that's there in the storytelling. So that's mostly what I had. And it's just a sign of the times, because here in Korea, it just doesn't quite feel that way, you know, especially after having home ground here at T1, and, you know, the T1 section fully sold out, and then the Nongshim and the GenG section fully sold out, and LoL Park almost always sold out. Like, I think we had DRX versus DNF, and that one was not sold out, but it still looks more crowded than when I was watching some of the LTA North crowd. I think it was the Shopify. Was it Shopify versus Dig game? Yeah, like still looked more sold out than that. So it's just a bummer. It's just a bummer. But we'll see what happens. You know, it's opportunity for others in the future to step on in and continue the storytelling. Thank you for the years.
Are we just
service.
coping? Are we all just fucking jobless soon? Like, is that what's happening? Is this just like
it's
fucking
not.
Is this shit dead?
Hey,
it's not. It's not.
I'll be honest. Like, I was looking at MSI, and like I'm telling you, LCS finals third place match in 2015 was unironically there was more energy and hype towards that than MSI finals. Bigger crowd. Yeah, like the energy was crazy, bro. Like people were losing their mind in 2015.
What was 2015 match? Was that the Madison Square Garden? Was that the double TP?
Yeah. That was the Gragas play that I did. That's what that was.
So you experienced
no.
okay.
I sat in the crowd for the next game. I sat in the crowd for the next game.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. That. Yeah.
And it was like objectively, it was more hype. Like it was more lively.
You know what? I'll give you credence to that take because I only being in London and not really being able to travel because I was broke until I started working in League. I got to experience Worlds in 2015 because Quarters was here. And I still remember Quarters very vividly, not because it was my first event or because I was very young, but actually just because of the scale of the audience inside that arena it was Wembley Arena. I think it was maybe 10,000 people, but the energy and the vibes were immaculate the entire time. And even that compared to now, granted, a little bit unfair because the Copper Box I think is a smaller arena than what Worlds.
But we are moving into smaller arenas, which is like scary.
That is the other thing. We're also moving into smaller arenas. But I do
less basketball, more hockey.
Yeah, I do. I do feel that on average, like even going from MSI in London in 23 to Worlds in London in 24, and mind you, the O2 is fucking huge. Like I don't know how many people they had seated for the O2 finals. I can't remember the number, but I'm pretty sure the capacity of the O2 at max is like 40K. And don't get me wrong, it was hype, but in this weird way, the energy was better in 2015 with a significantly smaller audience.
Oh yeah.
So I feel what you're saying. I don't know if it's a trend or not, and I want to believe it's not just to also cope, you know?
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm gonna have to become Asmongold. That's it, bro. I'm just gonna react to videos for a long time.
Well, I was gonna say your reaction content, like it could be the pivot, man. You know, you start reacting to content. I started making content recently.
Yep.
dGon, I hope you know how to speak Korean.
Better learn Korean, buddy.
Yeah.
I figured out who I was missing. I was missing Mahir. Thank you for buying me some time. Mahir is there every week.
Yeah, he is.
So make sure to support your journalists that are there week in, week out.
I actually
Mahir was homies with.
He seems pretty cool.
He was homies with Basil, and then started doing the content. And then when I left, I really like the way that he's picked up the conversational thing. Yeah. I mean, you know, as much as Zoomers or Gen Alphas can do conversational, but he's there. He's in there. He knows the trends. So support Mahir, support Ashley Kang, hold Sheep accountable for bad fucking
is Ashley
titles.
Kang not doing it anymore? I feel like Ashley Kang has completely disappeared.
She's dropped off the map recently. I don't know where she is as of late.
She's slowed down. But when she shows up, she hasn't made official announcement. So like, support your journalists, support the video. If you have to watch it on low volume, give them the view. Support, because that's the only way that, you know, these storytellers can get these interviews out. And I just hate it. I hate it because I hear what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but over at Road to MSI, the full Busan, or the as full as it was Busan Stadium, over at Inspire Arena, the full stadium there, it was goosebumps. It was still goosebumps. And I just know that a lot of the League community is missing out on that. So
that, I don't want to drag on the conversation too long though, is like a culture difference though, I feel, where in those regions, those teams, the structures around them have really done a good job of continually marketing their players. And this is a conversation that we had a lot, and obviously it tends to then derive down to like the whole fangirl culture. I'm not talking about that right now per se, but I feel like when you line it up next to LTA and LEC versus like the LPL and LCK like branding of individual players, I think it's very, very night and day, where a lot of players, as of, let's say, if they've started in the last even almost 8 years, how many players actually, either through contract or just their own means, put the time in to build up their personal brand outside of just being a player?
Very few.
And I think that is one of the leading like issues as to why we're,
because you don't have to anymore.
Exactly where we are. Exactly. And yeah. Of course. Go Tom.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like, when I was a player back in the day, I mean, we were making 40K a year, right? And if you streamed, like that could be like an extra like 1K a month, 2K a month or something like that. That like is a massive difference when you're not making much money, right? And living in LA and all this shit. I mean, obviously things are paid for, but you get the point. So a huge thing is that you just felt like, oh man, that's like how you make it. Like you need to stream to make it. Whereas now contracts are so big. Like why would you? Why would you do all this? Just doesn't seem worth.
I think, and again, both of you might be able to speak to this. The Korean orgs are really good at getting the players to do like sponsored content together that is fun. It's not like, hey, here's an ad read, do this thing.
Yeah.
Like Hanwha Life's content is super good. Like I enjoy sitting back and watching it, and it turns out, oh, this is an ad read for Monster. Like they were like, okay, we're gonna do drawing class, and you guys have 5 different flavors, and you're gonna draw the new mascot for this flavor, and then we're gonna vote who wins, and you guys are gonna vote amongst each other. And
like
it just ends up being like fun content, and you get to see the personality of the players there. Whereas like I don't know if Filthy Frank has done more for his career other than me calling him Filthy Frank. That's Tomo for everyone that doesn't know, because
no one even knows who that is when you say that. That's how you know that it's
I was wondering who the fuck were you talking about?
I was like, literally, Tomo, you look Asian as hell, and your name is Frank. This is awesome. You're gonna be Filthy Frank from here on out, and like never did anything with it. I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yep. Is what it is.
Is what it is. All right. So there we go. There was the news that we had up front. Support your teams. Faker continues on for 4 years. Very interested to see what plans the future of North American League of Legends is going to look like. God. Quick side note. The only team that won any ever Worlds for League of Legends Wild Rift also just sold their team. Just a huge complete side note. There was only one Worlds I got to host in Singapore. They sold their spot like last week. So it just feels like a shift is happening in esports.
Nice. So everything is just dead. Cool. And this is a great episode. We're just mega depressed. Anyone else want to say anything?
Let me get water. My bones will get too dry if I don't get water. Hold on.
You had any like suicidal ideation or anything, Jamada, to raise the mood here?
No, thankfully I've been past that for about 7 years or 8 years or so.
Jeez.
Funnily enough, League of Legends brought me away from that place.
And,
oh my god!
And now, by the looks of things, we might be coming full circle. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Man. Well, to brighten the mood, here's some of the things that they're selling. This is T1 Spotify homeground wipes. So they have like a Spotify sponsorship. Let's see, what else did we have? We obviously had the little signs that everyone was holding. What else? Oh, we had the jersey clapper thingy. I'll do it real quick so that my neighbors don't get too pissed at me but there's some sort of code on the back. I mean, they're selling, bro. They're just selling.
Correct.
Here's some stickers, homegrown stickers you can only get there. Again, Spotify's paying for a lot here. What the hell? There's more Spotify. They had like energy Spotify drink sponsors, let's see. We had the this was for the beer. This was the beer like reaction time thingy, and it's like you got a sticker of your player, and I ended up pulling Faker. It was like a random draw. It was just cool. Like they're just selling original ticket. It's the fandom, man. It's the fandom. They're just able to utilize that just so much better. So, anyways, okay, that's done and out of the way. Let's now get into a classic segment of ours. It is time for some HighKeyLowKeyNoKey, because as much as some of the moves were made that weren't great, we had lots of moves this summer. Lots of them across the LPL, a GOAT of some time, making it on over to LEC, and a couple of debuts over in the artist formerly known as the LCS LTA North. So let's go HighKeyLowKeyNoKey some of these summer roster moves as we are getting into the final stretch here before Worlds. It's HighKeyLowKeyNoKey. All right. So I think some ungodly amount of moves here in LPL. Let's take a look at that. Pull that one up. I think it's like 10 moves, maybe like 12 moves in the LPL. Over at LTA, you had new top laners coming on in for Dignitas. You had a debut for Gakkos. I think he said his name right. Over at FlyQuest. My personal favorite one, and I just want to give him the shout out before he gets dunked on because he's on one of the worst teams in the world in Disguised. Dark Wings, my man Isaac from the DMV, from the DC area. I met him like years ago when he was on 100 Thieves Academy and even before that. And he's just been on the cusp of trying to make it. The 25-year-old rookie. He's only going to be known for licking his elbow in an interview with Kobe. I hope he does well. This is that moment where, like, okay, the fact that you made it is awesome. The fact that you made it is awesome. That's my no-key pick. All right. Who do you guys have for your no-key pick in terms of summer roster move that probably won't work out and you're not excited for? Jamada, let's start with you.
There's a long list of players I think we could no-key for. I actually don't know where to start because I feel like there's like 4 or 5 really strong options. God, okay. I'll be a little bit mean. No, that one makes sense. I was gonna no-key Poby, but I think that's a bit mean. And I don't think
he hasn't even played yet.
I know he hasn't even played yet. That's why I'm gonna refrain for the time being. All right. I think I will. Okay, this might be harsh, but I think Dom will appreciate this one. I'm gonna no-key Shadow. Even though he's come in and he's done really well so far, I'm gonna no-key Shadow. Now, the reason why I'm no-keying Shadow is whilst I think this on paper is probably the best roster move that they could achieve under the circumstances that they are in, he's just not, like, the likelihood that he band-aid fixes every single issue that BLG has is so low that I think it's just cope. Don't get me wrong. I think they had to get rid of I think they had to get rid of Beichuan. I think he had to go. Listen, I think he had to go. I do think he had to go. And I've been very vocal about that from basically the beginning. But I can't see Shadow doing much. Well, I think I can see him doing better, but I can't see him doing better to the point where it restabilizes BLG. And that's why I'm no-keying him here. Not because I hate him, because European. Like, shout out to him. You know, he's got the passport there. But I think the issues with BLG stem far beyond the jungle, and what's likely going to happen is we're going to fall into the honeymoon phase again, right? BLG are going to look good for like maybe a month and a half, 2 months. We're going to get into playoffs. They'll probably finish top 2. AO will probably still beat their ass, belt out, whole 9 yards. We go to internationals, and here's the pathing. Are you ready? GenG is on the bench. They're gonna pay a buyout for a loan fee to get GenG to come and play for them for Worlds, and that is actually the most BLG thing I think imaginable at this point in time, because I think the honeymoon phase will run out again before we hit Worlds. I don't see Shadow fixing their issues, so I'm no-keying Shadow more because I'm hating on BLG as a collective of, can we stop cycling through junglers and just like fix our issues more directly, as opposed to I hate this overall roster move, which I know is a little bit against the general rules of HighKeyLowKeyNoKey, but that's where I'm landing because I think there are so many other bad roster moves. It would be a little bit easy to talk about, and I feel like this one is kind of a slightly more nuanced no-key take.
I don't know, man. I swore that you guys were going to put Shadow at least low-key, because of how they looked in their series. They fought with hands, man. It was fun to watch that series against AL in the comeback win, at least in series 2, and then series in game 2, and then in game 3. You know, they just played better. It was cool, but all right, we'll accept that. Dom, what you got for your no key?
Okay, so for my no key, I am going to put Way after what I saw today. This motherfucker, he is playing terrible. Like, he is just playing fucking horrible. And I just don't know what to even say about it anymore. It's so egregiously bad that I was like trying to be like, hey, it wasn't really his fault before. No, it's all his fault. Like, it's only his fault. It's no one else's fault besides for his. So, yeah, I've just been really triggered watching him play. I just feel like he's been insanely bad. So, yeah, that's where I'm going with mine.
And the FPX loss, put an exclamation point on it. I changed my mind. My Dark Wings is my high key. Poby is my no key. Poby trying to come in and be the savior.
I was going to put him in no key, and you said he hasn't even played the game. No,
I talked you out of it.
Explain yourself now.
Because Fnatic felt so close. They felt so close, right? You know, first plays, you got upset. It's there.
Actually, I have another note. I'm going to go for another note. We can do multiple.
We can do multiple. We can do multiple.
I would like to do multiple.
All right. Let's do fucking multiple. The fuck is going on with fucking Navi? Han Samdi and Malrong support. I refuse to believe that Malrong support.
Wait. Chill on Han Samdi. Chill on Han Samdi, because I've heard very good things about this guy. The rest of the roster, though, yeah, like
I mean,
they haven't played a minute on the Rift. Blow it up now.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, I saw Sam D play in LPL for years. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no!
Like, this was like he wasn't even good in like 2021, and now he's just and he's just trended downwards further and further.
He's not in the LPL anymore, and we know about the relative skill, levels of. You can bring an LCK challenger player into the LEC and they'll look top 3. Like, surely there's a bit of progression there, right?
Bro, he was Hanwha Life, and he was Hanwha Life fucking challengers, then Hanwha Life again. Then he went to Astral Esports. Then he's been playing in LFL for like a year and a half. Bro, all I'm saying is, if he does well, your region is fucking cooked. Like, that will damn the entire region if he does well.
All right, I'm looking on Leaguepedia. Light, I don't know if you could pull this up, but you have some of these different moves here, coaches moving in, players moving in. Why does it say free agent Travis Gafford retires? Like, why does he have his own free agent announcement? That's
shout out Travis Gafford again, man. Yeah, like a major player in the game.
All right. Okay. Any other no keys that we want to get out of the way while we're here? Going once, going twice.
Hold on, let me think.
I've got one.
Yeah.
Dun.
Yes, that was the other one where I was like,
SK,
oh no.
Yeah. I don't actually have much a comment here, other than what the fuck is he doing on SK, bro? Like,
I mean, how about Abadage?
Well, yeah.
Abadage to SK is crazy. Like, that's got to be a fucking insane no key. That is insane. Hey.
The great stabilizer smile. Like, he don't worry, SK will be a 7th place team instead of a just give me a second. A 9th place team. That sounds fantastic to me, man. Like,
oh my
right?
God.
Hey, they came second in the NNO Cup.
The NNO Cup?
Yeah, the NNO Cup.
They can beat pickup teams with like Boss and Velia playing with people that they don't even know.
Hey, look. Dom, they only got 3-0'd by Vitality in finals. It's not a big deal. As in, like, LEC Vitality, man. Like, I reckon a 7th place, right? Yeah, like 9th to 7th. Abadage, dun.
They really need to quit. They really need to quit. Like,
you know what?
Desperately, they need to stop playing League professionally.
The players or the org?
Yeah.
Yes.
The org. The org right. First. But the players are soon out. Like, I give them one more chance. They get one more chance after SK. We won't blame them for what's going on in SK. Whatever happens afterwards, if it's looking bad, we put them down. It is what it is.
Oh my. All right.
Their league careers, come on.
Yes, of course. In game. Put them down in game. To the bot lane. All right, let's go low key. What are some slowly excited moves that we're excited about? If you guys need time, I have one. I'll go first. Never mind. I'll go first. I'm calling my own number.
Take the floor.
I'm just excited after getting to know this kid for a long time here in Korea that he has an opportunity to play. He starts off his career with a loss, but Griffin down over at Latin America South playing for the biggest Brazilian organization in esports over in Loud. To hear kind of how it shook up, according to him, over with his opportunity T1, felt bad. It just felt like it's part of the process. You know, when you are trying to climb and make it up, Dom, and you just get stunted because there's systems in place and there can only be one player that is starting, like that becomes pretty frustrating. So I think when you have the opportunity to go and prove it, it's very exciting. So for him to go to, as a 18, 19-year-old now, going to Sao Paulo and playing in Brazil and playing for the biggest team in Brazil, I think it's exciting and it's fun. Like that is a tenured squad that he's playing with as well. I think Robo's on that squad. So they have an opportunity to do something. So we'll see what happens. But I'll keep my eye on how Griffin's doing down there.
Facts. Yeah, I almost watched his initial game. I wanted to, but I just too busy. For it.
I will say, good individual performance out of Griffin, because I did peep the games.
I talked to him afterwards. I had to let him. I had to talk about some stuff with him. I had to let him know. So, like, there was some stuff where I was like, look, from not his personal play, but like there was some stuff where I was like, whoever said to play Sejuani, if your fucking game 3 draft is Sejuani Sion, you're never going to win. Sejuani Sion with what did they have, like a Victor mid or some shit, some range mid laner? You're never winning. We cannot go Sejuani Sion there, no matter what. No matter what. Yeah. I don't care what the other options are. We have to pick the other options. Just it is what it is. That's all.
I agree. All he's got to do is stay away from the women of Brazil, and I think that kid's got a great future.
I mean, don't stay away from him. Don't worry.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Griffin. I think he's a very, very talented kid. Very, very, very talented
league.
Kid. Yeah. You okay, dGon?
Jamada, it's your turn. Go. Who'd you love?
You know, I coached. I coached dGon, or I coached fucking Griffin when he was like 13 on stream.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Coached him when he was 13 on stream. Yeah. Long time ago.
The prodigy.
Yeah, he was the prodigy, bro. Like, I didn't know he was 13 because, I mean, this is back when I was still playing the game a lot, right? So, like, you just get into Challenger games and you just... I don't know if this is just a me thing, but for a while when I was playing Challenger games, I just assumed people were, like 18, 19, 20. Like, I thought that was the players I was playing with. I thought they were, like, in that range. Then I came to find out that, like, Griffin, Sniper, all these players were, like, fucking 12 years old. It's like, how the fuck? JoJo. I was 30. I was 30 in 2020 playing with fucking 13-year-olds in the game. How is that fucking possible? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, again, when you were there to see the cavemen, flint steel, the extinction of the dinosaur, it does happen. My low key, and I hate that I want this to be my low key because I've had a weird amount of love for this player for a long time. Is Xiaoshu, but JDG fucking stink collectively, and there's nothing he can do, I think, about the circumstance that he's now found himself on this team. But I've really liked his performances, and honestly, the one
he's
series win that he is a bit of a Cassante merchant, but I don't mind that. I don't mind, even in Fearless, I don't mind that. And I feel like what series was it where he was on Renekton and he basically 1v9 like 3 fights in a row? Otherwise, they would have just lost that game like outright.
WE, I think
it was WE, right? Like, that was a bad looking series for JDG as a whole. I think that was a pretty decent looking series for Xiaoshu though. And I'm happy for his stock. I just feel like he's gonna fucking suffer the entire time that he's on that lineup. So I'm giving my small amount of flowers to Xiaoshu just because I've always felt like he's deserved a shot on like a kind of somewhere between 4th to 6th place team. but he's never been able to squeeze his way in because the top lane is just so stacked in the LPL in general. But as like a lower economy option top laner, out of that kind of middle of the pack, I always feel like he kind of stuck out to me as a slightly better option compared to a lot of the players in that range. So yeah, hopefully he can put out a good performance for himself. It's like one of those things where you're probably not going to be on the roster next year because the roster's going kaboom in it. So you just want to make sure you look good. I think Xiaoshu is probably in one of those circumstances. Or hell, maybe JDG do a full rebuild and he somehow manages to stay on and the roster looks okay next year, right? But that's where I'm at with Xiaoshu. Yeah, I think he looks okay. I think he looks okay. And I think he's probably doing better than most people would have thought he would have based off of just name power alone.
All right, Dom, who you got, Loki?
Yeah, my Loki, I would go Shadow for Loki. I actually think he'll do pretty well. Like I have the opposite take where I think that he is actually a more consistent and better jungler at this point than Wei and Beichuan. And I think the most important thing for me is that he has better hands than those guys right now. And I think that's really important when you're playing on a team like BLG, because BLG is a team where they're just going to fight you a lot and they're going to, rely on mechanical excellence to be the thing that gets them over the finish line. And a lot of times when I look at like their fights, even the ones when they were really good, when they were one of the best teams last year throughout the entire year, I'll look at their fights and I'm like, damn, they're like down gold. They don't have item completions, but they just see the angle and they're just relying on the fact that when they get in that fight, people are going to fucking perform. And from what I've seen so far, he actually has been able to perform in those situations. So for me, I think that his skill set matches more what BLG need, as opposed to other players who might even be like better than him, but are not. They don't fall into the BLG formula as well. So I actually think that Shadow will be pretty good. Maybe their placement doesn't change. They could just still be like second place. Maybe they even go like to third or whatever, but I think they'll be a better team than they were with Beichuan. I think they'll be like a stronger team overall.
This was the take that I thought was going to happen here, Jamada.
I just want to point out, I agree with what Dom's saying, but my conclusion is different based on the fact that I think the rest of BLG just kind of they're stuck between sucking and being very inconsistent. And whilst I feel like Shadow is definitely a better remedy than Beichuan and Wei, I don't see them coming out of this rut or it like magically fixing all of their circumstances, which is why I no-keyed them. Like, I think there's, again, grander things wrong with BLG than just like needing a jungler, right?
Yes, so, but they're according to MSI, they're the fourth best team in the world. They this need move is, if they get a little bit better, maybe they're not just the fourth best team,
maybe, but like, okay, I feel like the major issue, at least that they have with Beichuan, is that if you stick Beichuan in lobbies with Canyon, Ona, Peanut, like Tarzan, these kind of junk, he's just very out of place.
He's been running it for like 3 months.
Well, okay, to
be fair,
he had a good game last week. He had a good game.
Hey, like
which one?
The second game. The second game.
Not the fucking GenG one. The GenG one.
No, definitely not. Not the GenG one. Not the GenG.
No.
I didn't watch the other game. I don't think. Wait, who was the other? The other game was against KT. Was that the one?
Yeah, it was against KT. Yeah, against Cuz.
I actually watched some of that.
I don't think we brought up Cuz at all during that series because Peanut had a classic controlled kind of game. It was a good Peanut game.
I do think.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go, Jamada, and then we'll get to HighKey.
And I feel like at the very least, Shadow can like not look homeless versus those guys. And if that's enough, cool. I have no qualms. But I don't think it's gonna be enough. Something in my gut is telling me it's not gonna be enough because of like Bin's inconsistencies, mostly, right? The switch off between on and off, right? From support with from BLG's bot lane. And I feel like if the team is not in sync with one another, like they haven't been for a long time, then yeah, they're just gonna have major problems. We'll see how Shadow develops in side of the system and how they're going to treat him as well, because I feel like BLG kind of just need they need a dog jungler that again can kick it with the good junglers in the rest of the world. And I think Shadow probably does have what it takes to do that. But I feel like, again, those other issues, not to be a broken record, is what will fundamentally bring BLG back to staying the 4th best team in the world for the time being, if MSI has anything to go by.
Okay. Thank you for clarification of that after I put you on the spot. Finally, let's go to HighKey. HighKey. For me, the biggest move, and the one I'm most excited about, was, which hurt my heart, but also made me excited. We traded out one world champion winner for another world champion winner, and the proof is in the drafts. The bros fired Edgar and brought in Duke from SKT, and the drafts have been so good for bro to the point where Palu can't int us losses. Like, Palu has played as bad as you remember, Dom, and they've still been able to win because the drafts have been good. I am like, yes, I know I'm the bro guy or whatever, but when was the last time they went 2-0 in a week? And it's good. Like, things are good. Drafts are good. We're going to lose some games, but they're going to be the biggest beneficiary of this LCK format where, like, you play into play-ins and then you're supposed to peak on up. Like, it's going to be them. They're going to shit on DNF. They're going to beat DRX. They're going to go, like, slightly above average against BNK FearX, and they'll probably go 50-50 with D+, which is exactly what you want going into playoffs. And I think it's all because of Duke, because Edgar would draft some not so good drafts sometimes and be like, well, I gave him a draft, but the players didn't execute. He would throw them under the bus, and that was not good for their thing. Now Duke literally could do that and hasn't done that. Doesn't need to, because the draft's been good. They've been able to win. Highest key move of the offseason, Duke in, and bro all the way up to Worlds. There it is. All right, there's mine. Where are you going, Dom?
My highest key move. Ooh, it's kind of tough, to be honest, but I've been thinking about it. I mean, the thing is, like, there's like high key moves, but I guess it's like based on the team.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be like, hey, look, they're now. It's just like, what is your high key move that's gonna be the most impactful? I'd say.
What's my high key move that's gonna be the most impactful? Hard for me to say. I actually don't know. Like, I'm looking at LPL, like, there's nothing that actually looks good. I mean, I do think that, like, some of the moves that are nice are, like, I think that Nayu to NIP is pretty good. I do actually really like this Perukia guy. For LCK, what do you have? Is there anything that's been, there's no, like, big moves at LCK, right?
Not really.
Nope. It was mostly just coaching staff moves.
Yeah, coaching staff moves.
Like CD Max going over
whatever.
to D+. Yeah.
Yep.
D+ is terrible.
Yep.
If Photon moved to a better team in LTA, I would probably just immediately.
Yeah, I would say Photon.
Yeah.
If he was on a better team. At least he didn't have any. I feel like there was no good team. I mean, I guess it's just how it works, right? No good team makes any moves in this part of the season.
It's a summer move.
Yeah.
That's why. That is honestly why I thought you guys would pick Shadow, because
Shadow might be my high key. Honestly, he might be my high key. Now that I think about it, he might be my high key, and then my low key would be like maybe Milky Way to FPX, because that's the rumor.
If that comes through, return to FPX. But I've got to say,
on the waiver wire for LPL, reading the Weibo forums.
In fairness, I actually didn't get to catch.
Know about this one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I didn't get to catch much of IG FPX today because I live on Texan time, so watching LPL live is a bit of a myth for me. But I heard that the I don't know how to say his name, whether it's E or IYY. I heard he had a good showing today, so fair play to him. But rest in peace if his spot gets sniped by Milky Way. My high key is Rooster on BDS.
Oh.
Because I feel like that one's kind of flown under the radar. And I can't remember if it got announced or not, like formally, but it's been a thing for a little while. I feel like
I have no clue who that guy is.
He was Hanwha Life Academy's top laner.
Yeah.
I spoke with Mal, or Chronicler. Chronicler had very nice things to say about this guy as a player. I'll take that guy's word for Bible. I think Irrelevant really just shit the bed this year, and I was very surprised overall by his performances start to finish on BDS. So I feel like almost any move would be a positive one, in terms of top lane rotation. And Rooster, Korean top, probably going to come in, do the thing. Very like either standard, like top 5 kind of, or like 5th as like floor kind of player. Can't say the same thing for Dundon. But I think for BDS, they needed that. And especially also kind of just to squeeze this one in as well. Bakuda. Now, I think I remember, Dom, you saying you were not particularly high on this guy when he was on SK. I feel like he was on a bit of a sinking ship in that lineup. And I think individually, most of his fundamentals are there. Most of them. So I feel like with BDS having Nuke, Ice, and then, well, we'll see what happens with Paris, because I think that guy's also been a bit of a problem. But maybe him and Bakuda as a jungle support like sync up a lot better. I think like BDS could maybe be like a dark horse team, where maybe they squeeze a 4th or something like that. I could see it. Like I think that is their absolute ceiling though, 4th. I couldn't see them going any higher. Because at the end of the day, the core of this roster in the carries of Nuke and Ice were consistently just the 3rd best team last year. So I don't think it's out of the realm of like possibility that if Rooster is individually a player that can contest the top end of the tops in the LEC, and you know Bakuda is as sound as he seemed even through the sinking ship of SK, that I'm gonna make that my high key. I'm gonna make that my high key just because I feel like Irrelevant really fell flat on his face.
I like that. That was almost like a low key dark horse high key, but it's a mid-season move transfer window. There were a lot of moves, but no like standout big W kind of winner. And so I like that one for the deeper cut there. Okay. Well, we covered a lot of the transfers. A lot of them that we didn't like. Someone in chat was saying no players being spared right now. But some teams are just trying to. It felt like the big teams making the moves. It's just BLG and it's just Shadow. You know, another jungler getting collected in the gauntlet of BLG. And other than that, it's hopeful moves elsewhere. Other than Gakko. Gakkos. I'm very interested to see what he brings and why they want to use him there in the top lane, and it's reminiscent
like
to.
Do they just not like Bwipo or something? Because every single roster move, like every single offseason, there's like rumors of him potentially getting replaced.
Well,
like, what is going on with him?
Well, they had Surdy before, right?
Yeah.
But if it's one of those things where they're like, hey, we want to not promote, but put the carrot on the stick. We want to reward this player, and we're not fully changing the makeup of the team, even though you're pulling out Bwipo, who's like hyper verbal in the shot calling. I like the idea. Like I like the idea of that, but I don't know. Maybe it's planning for him stepping down in the future. He doesn't have the 4-year deal like Faker does, so. But I don't see Bwipo not playing League. That feels weird. So we'll see. Okay. That does it for this high key, low key, no key. Earlier we talked about supporting some of the content creators within the League of Legends space. And one way you can do that is by trusting us when we give you the hookups to some of the coolest things that we have the opportunity to show you about. And this time, it's our friends over at Wooting with the Wooting keyboards. Now, Again, you heard me talk about it. They have half effect sensors, which are magnetic sensor key in each key that can detect how far a key has been pressed down to the millimeter. They have adjustable actuation, which each key can be individually programmed to its own actuation point to suit your typing and gaming preferences, unlike traditional mechanical keyboards where a switch will have to be unchangeable. Like, again, you can't change it specifically to one key. And then Wooting keyboards are customizable for any Cherry MX stem mount. So if you like to have specific types keys or keycaps, they've got you covered. It works with any Cherry stem mount. So you can get that one checked out. From the competitive side, you can change the actuation like we talked about. The QWER keys can be set to a lower actuation to increase the time for it to react when you push it down. A lot of pros do this. They have dynamic keystroke, which shows the champion ability ranges with a partial key press, and then you can activate it with the full key press. And then an 8 kilohertz polling rate lowers your keyboard latency to 0.125 milliseconds to ensure the fastest response time possible on the market. One of the coolest things ever. And then if you want to customize all of this, again, I'm not huge in keyboard customization, but the usage of Wootility, which was the online app that comes with it, you just log into the website and then it works without having to download anything. It is the industry leading app that allows for easy and full customization of your keyboard by setting actuation points, RGB controls, multiple profiles, rapid trigger settings, and more. I'm smart on a lot of things. I'm not smart on keyboards, but this made it super easy. One of the easiest softwares that I've ever got to use. And then Wooting offers the unrivaled 4-year warranty and a 30-day no questions asked return policy. Again, level up your game with your hardware. When it comes to keyboards, Wooting is the brand that you go to. So head on over to wooting.io and use the code SPIKE, and the first 250 customers will also receive a free Wooting Uwu with the order of any Wooting keyboard. Here is what the Uwu looks like. It's 3 customizable keys, 3 different clickers right there at the bottom that you can customize, which is great for rhythm games, reprogramming as an RGB stream deck, or more. So again, customization to the fingertips. If you like customizing the way that you play and how you do things, sit down, spend about 30 minutes to an hour setting up your new keyboard settings, setting up your Uwu, and it will change the way that you use computers, the way that you game, the way that you stream. Improve your game with a cutting-edge keyboard and get a free Uwu now. Simply add any keyboard and Uwu to your cart with the code SPIKE and get your Uwu for free. That's at Wooting, WOOTING.io, and use the code SPIKE. That's wooting.io and using the code SPIKE. Thanks to our friends over at Wooting for trusting us. And I'm telling you guys, it is awesome to use. Cheers. Boom. All right. Let's move on over to this week's Keeper Kick. I had one here, but we can honestly do the opposite. There was a Reddit post on it. So this week's Keeper Kick was, is this the most dominant team that we've seen in the world? It is the GenG 2025 team. Like, I know they just lost to T1, blah, blah, blah. However, they were winning everything, unprecedented like, and are playing at a different level. But there was a Reddit post that just recently came out that said, there's a team that's won 19 of the series and only dropped 1 series against T1. There's also a team that's only won 1 series and dropped 19 of their series in the DNF, the DN Automotive Freaks, who could be one of the worst teams in the world. They're the first team in the LCK to go have 19 losses, because we've never had 19 matches in a year or in a split. So let's do that. Is this the worst team in the world? Keeper Kick. It's the DN Automotive Freaks of 2025 versus the field. Let's get to it. Sorry, I feel bad for my boy Berserker, world champ, Mr. Mark Pioshik. Bulldog doesn't deserve this. He's such a nice guy, Dom. But yeah, we are just on the broadcast waiting to see how this tragedy unfolds in a new way, and they did it most recently against DRX in game one. They were up. They got first tower. They were winning. And DRX gets their first tower at 36 minutes and like 12 seconds and then ends up winning the match. That has to be the latest game you get first tower ending up winning, and then they lose the series in 3. This is one of the worst teams ever. It has to be. It has to be. So are you keeping DNF as worst team ever, or are you taking the field? Let's go down memory lane here, Dom, and you can recount some of the worst teams we've ever been forced to watch.
So, worst teams we've ever had to watch. There's a couple that stand out to me. Immediately, it's that Origin team from...
Oh my God.
Yeah. I forgot.
That's a team that, to me, like, automatically, when somebody says who's the worst team of all time, it's that Origin team. That team was truly awful. They should all be ashamed of themselves. I hope they feel bad for what they did on the Rift. And most of them are now like, they retired soon after that. I think I saw something where like Nayoon, I think that was the guy's name, the mid laner Nayoon, like he lost his first 33 competitive matches or something. Like, it's like the most insane streak of losing. I think that no one else has lost that much before. So there's that team. There's like
2017. Yeah,
2017 Origin. There's Echo Fox. That was one of the worst teams of all time. That Echo Fox team was fucking horrible. That's the one with Keith McBrief. They just couldn't win. Keith McBrief, Froggen. I think that was 2016. They were like 1-17.
Oh my God.
Now other ones we got to throw in the mix. We have the V5 team of 2020, where they were winless. They just didn't win a series. They just couldn't win. That's maybe the worst team of all time right there. That team actually was fucking horrible. Their mid laner Mole played like 50 different roles during that season. He just was playing a different role every game because he just couldn't win with that shit team. So that's another one. And then there's other teams that I would also consider that are in there, like Coast, for example, the 1-17 Coast. I played against that Coast in season 5. That
was pretty bad.
Were pretty fucking bad. They were pretty fucking bad. And the other thing is, like, it's hard to go 1-17 in best of ones. Like, when you play best of 3s, it's not that hard to go 0-16 or whatever if you're playing versus LPL teams and you're actually just like a pretty bad team. But the fact that you can't win like best of ones, like, you didn't have any good situations that led to you just winning a few games just based off early game or something, like, that is fucking crazy. So there's some that are out there, but off the top of my head, those are the ones that stand out. You also have like the Gen era teams that are really fucking horrible. You have some bro teams, but I don't think that they were ever as bad as the teams I just mentioned. If you're going for like the worst team of all time, I would say Origin, just based off the fact that they're playing in Europe as well. So you're playing in Europe and you're completely winless and you're just absolutely terrible. That's different.
Okay, you went too fast. So let's. I need to pull out the records of some of these teams that you've said. So the Echo Fox one is the one that I just found. This was 2016 summer, 1-17. The roster was, all right, I'm going to leave out one player and I need you to guess. So it's the top laner, but we'll go junglers. Junglers were Hard, Grig, which is the artist formerly, or I guess he was.
I already know who it is.
Grig.
Do I just say it?
Azar Mao. Yeah, you can say it.
It was Looper, right?
No, it was
KFO.
It was KFO. That's right. They were like, hey, we need some help in jungle. Let's go buy Looper. World champion Looper. That was Rick Fox's big buy. Let's see. Kez, Froggen, Keith, and Scary Terry big in the bot lane with Coach Cop.
Fucking Scary Terry.
Scary Terry. Let's see. Goodness gracious, I loved the LCS, man. I had nicknames for fucking everybody. All right. Origin, let's go to their recent results. That Origin roster you're talking about was 2017, I think.
Or 17 or 18.
All right.
17. 20. It was in the same split as Vitality, who had the worst import of all time, which I did a video on, which was Hachani. So I have it very fresh in my memory because, I mean, maybe that was actually 4 years ago at this point when I released that video. But like 3 or 4 years ago, I made a video on the worst import of all time. Hachani, and he was playing against Origin. Origin in game score was 2-26.
Can you name this Origin roster? Name this Origin roster. I've got it here in front of me.
Okay,
they
so
got
Origin
demoted
roster,
that year.
So that was Nayun on the team.
Yes, Nayun. AD carry had a decent career.
That was Synkrov, right?
No, that was not Synkrov. That was
Synkrov didn't play on that team.
I'm looking. I don't see Synkrov here. No.
AD carry.
Yes, AD
it wasn't
carry.
Sheriff yet. Who was on?
No, it wasn't
team?
Sheriff.
It was.
Wasn't
Hiva?
That was. Oh, okay.
It
wasn't Hiva. It wasn't
Hiva wasn't playing.
No, Hiva was support.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Didn't XPeke play support in that lineup?
XPeke played support in this lineup. That is correct.
At one point, he did. Right?
No, XPeke subbed in. Didn't he play AD as well? But he wasn't like the main starter.
No, he wasn't the main starter. But I remember it was so bad that XPeke did end up coming in at some point.
Yes, he played in the promotion tournament.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, okay.
This AD carry, he took over. So XPeke played some AD carry during the promotion for the last season because they were in demotion there too. This person took over for Given.
Oh, it was Freeze?
Nope. That's a good guess. Guess.
No, it wasn't Freeze. Who was in this lineup? I actually don't know.
No, it was Tabs. It was Tabs.
Tabs was playing in this lineup?
Tabs was playing.
I thought about Tabs, but
he's the only listed AD carry here. So it's Tabs, Hiva, XPeke at the support roles. Those two were split in support. Nayun, Synkrov. Wisdom. There it is. And then this top laner, you're not going to guess because I don't even remember this guy's name.
That's Sartorius,
I remember it because it is Sartorius. It was Sartorius.
Wait, it was Sartorius?
It was Sartorius.
No, wait, it actually started coming to me there a little bit.
That's crazy. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen this guy's name because it looks like Santorin.
I remember this guy's name. Because I watched him. Sartorius.
Oh my God, bro.
He played ERL for years afterwards because I remember.
Yeah. He's like
plenty
of. Is he not still around?
So his jersey has GK Esports, which was coached most recently by Gambit Esports royalty and one of the first imports to come to North America.
Wait, say it again. Say the thing again. Because I was looking at Sartorius. What did you say?
Oh, okay. I gave away the answer. I said he was most recently. He was at GK Esports, which is in Turkey, I believe. It's in Turkey.
No, it's Saudi Arabia, I think.
Sorry, it's Saudi Arabia. And he was coached by Gambit 5 royalty and first.
Edward.
To come over. Edward.
I lived
friend
with
of the show. You lived with Edward? Oh yeah, that's right, because he was a curse.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, Steve, what a visionary. All right, let's see. You named a couple there. All right, Jamada. Is there another team that you can remember?
So I have obviously now Dom's an encyclopedia set next to me, but I have two nominations. One very obvious, one that people may have forgotten because they were so bad. I'll get the obvious one out of the way. This Rogue lineup has to be like this era of Rogue has to be in the conversation, right? Like we can't ignore the war crimes off cooldown that have been happening in Europe in the bottom two because of this fucking org and the lineup. How many temps in a row and knives in a row? Like, have they finished outside of the top outside of the bottom two in the last 2 years? I don't think they have. I don't think they've smelled playoffs since 2023.
Yeah,
I actually don't think. I don't think they've smelled playoffs. Like, if we're counting like the Koi merger as that was Rogue in 23, that had to have been the last time they were in playoffs, and that might have even been spring. I don't know if they did it in summer. So that's an additional split there in that year as well.
They didn't do it in summer.
So
9, 9, 10, 10, 10. Those are the last three splits here for Rogue.
That sounds like a number you need to call if you're in trouble. Like, I think I rest my case with that one. And then the other one I want to nominate is Immortals. Like, literally any version of Immortals past when they were good, I think is probably a shoe-in for this. Maybe not to the same degree as some of the other nominations that Dom brought up, but I feel like it has to be said because I feel like they always get brought up in this conversation of like worst orgs historically, and basically anything post 2018.
No, there was one roster that was the Gyoto roster that got him the job with the super team that got 6th. And everyone was like, holy shit, that's pretty crazy. Look at that roster.
Wow, it's so good.
6th.
Like, that's how Gyoto got into fucking TL. He was there like, we should coach the best team in North America. Like,
all right, here is the numbers for the last several splits for Immortals. It was 8th, 10th, 9th, 9th, 10th, and then 9th, 10th during lock-in. 5th, 6th for the championship. That was the Gyoto year. 7th were the other Gyoto finishes. 10th, 8th, and then when they went to Worlds, they were 14, 16. I mean, their placement color in Leaguepedia is the same color as their jerseys, that kind of like bluish greenish color that you
I think just the longevity they have to be in the conversation, because that is like 3 years, 4 years of just not really being a compare. Like with Rogue, it's like not only are they just seriously not a compare, it's like it's all been condensed so far into like 8 splits, right? 2 years and a bit, and they have the chance to extend it with Na'Vi. Right, like that's still a thing. Like they're still on. They're still on for this title. There was
the 016 WE I just thought about.
Bomber yes.
That was a Shanks on it, bro. But that was one of the worst teams of all time. Like,
no, it wasn't. Free. Well, I was gonna say free Shanks, but he's very free now. So that team sucked. That was
2020, 22? Or was that 23?
I feel like it was 3 because that was when I was on the LPL, and I remember them like fucking sucking that year.
Oh no, it was 2022. But the thing is, they were 7-32. Let me go back and find that V5 lineup, because that might be the worst. They were 1-32. They won 1 out of 33 games.
That sounds like the Shanghai Dragons thing, like from Overwatch. Christ.
Yeah, no, you should actually get some type. Like, I feel like we should bring back like some types of punishments. Like, I don't know what type of punishment you need, but like at that point, like it shouldn't be good enough that it's like, oh, you just get to like move on to the next split. Like, you have to do jail time or something. Like, that's fucking crazy. You can't just be 1-32. You wasted so much collective time. At that point, you've wasted so much time. You've been such a negative for society. You deserve I don't know, a couple weeks at least.
A couple weeks.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find this. I'm trying to find this team, and maybe I just memorized it wrong here, Dom. I thought Dragonborns, that team that Jamada was on years ago, I thought they went. They didn't win a game.
No. They were like 7-21, or I think they were like 6-22 or something like that.
6-22. It's 6-22.
Yeah. They're fine.
Okay. Damn, I memorized that wrong. I thought that was like the first team to go winless, but they were, I think, the first team to get demoted from the LCS when the LCS got created. I think that was maybe what I remembered. They weren't able to defend their spot. They lost their spot to, was it Lemon Dogs?
They lost their spot. Yeah, maybe it was Lemon Dogs. It was either Lemon Dogs or was Alternate already in there? I don't even know, bro. Actually, I think Alternate was already in there. I don't know, man. Tough times.
Yeah, it was Alternate, Sinners Never Sleep that eventually got bought. Copenhagen Wolves and Big Sorry Meet Your Makers. Holy, we are just going down the old man pipe right now, man. Oh. No one knows what Big Sorry is. Oh my god. All right.
Meet Your Mothers.
Meet Your Mothers. Goodness gracious. Okay. So are we picking this 1-19? Because the story's not done yet. Maybe they could catch 1-30, 32.
That's like, I don't know, but I'm talking about series. Like, I'm talking about game score. That's series score. Like, DNF wins some games every now and then. Like, I saw them. How many wins do they have? They're 9-39. That's so much better. It's got to be fucking the V5 1-32 lineup.
It's the V5
like that shit. That is just pathetic. Like, that is crazy. You can't just be doing that.
like even I hate Rogue, but they do win game. Like, you know, they go 2-7 or like 4-12 or whatever it is. They win games, right?
Yeah.
1-37. That is a mad stat line.
132, bro.
Mad stat line. Oh, 32. Sorry, yeah, that is a mad stat line.
Like, you can't. They won one game, and like if you think about what makes one of the worst teams, right? Like one of the worst teams, it's also the fact that they're just like moving their fucking players into different roles. They had one guy play 4 different roles. They tried to have their one human being player play mid, top, jungle, and AD carry. They're like, okay, we're not going to put this motherfucker on support because that's just cursed. They had him play every role besides for fucking support to try to win a game. They were that bad. Like, it's just crazy. At that point, yeah. Like I said, some type of punishment needs to be had. Like, it just is what it is.
Oh man, yeah. Some of these teams are rough. I'm now. You got me going through LCS 2013, 2014. The Coast teams were rough. Those were
the
rough
Coast
times.
teams were bad. Like Team Marn was bad. Oh, Velocity is bad, but they weren't that bad though. They were like
they weren't that bad.
Roles, no?
They had parts. Velocity had parts. Let's see. You had Chris, who was the bar to make it into the LCS. If you beat Chris, you were in LCS. If you couldn't beat Chris, you were not in LCS. Like, goodness gracious, the best Mexican player to have played in North America. You had Maple Street, who had a couple of good moments throughout his career. You had
it's just depressing to say out loud.
Yeah. That might be it. What? Vile Rose had a couple of moments there.
Vile Rose,
what's his name?
NK Inc, bro. This guy,
NK
like,
Inc. Yeah, sorry, I left him hanging. Probably was in there.
Yeah, NK Inc. Probably wasn't like. I don't think he was really on the team. He might have came in at the end or something.
What's his name? Who was the one that was he came in and he left for farm school? Was that?
No, that was a top laner for Team 8. That was California Inc.
Oh my God, that was Team 8. That's what
I wish that this could be like a competitive sport. I swear, I'm clearing people in league history knowledge. Like,
it's
on,
crazy.
Bro.
I'm using the Wikipedia and you remember Team 8. I was like, it's Velocity. No, that's where Maple Street came from before he joined Team 8.
Yeah.
It was Cali Trolls. That's who it was. Cali Trolls.
Oh, not
Golden Glue. Niantanso. Dodo. Holy moly, man.
Bro,
Slushy.
Complexity with Bubba Dub.
Man.
Slushy was just bad.
2-8. Okay, we're done.
2-8, yeah.
All right. Velocity 5 or the DN Automotive Freaks or Origin. Let us know in the comments.
Rogue.
Who is
I think what, like, I still think they're in the running just for the sheer fact of 9, 9, 9, 10, 10.
That's fucking crazy. You can't just go 9, 9, 9, 10, 10.
Yeah. Let us know who your woat is. The worst of all time. Oh,
fucking
man.
woat.
The fucking woat. Okay. Well, if you don't want to be a woat in real life, you need to get your life together. Mainly through fitness and through health and nutrition. And one way to help you do that is our friends over at Factor, where they have more variety and more meals to choose from, where you can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafoods like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. They support your wellness goals with even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good for you fats. And for the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Dom is included in that 97%. Isn't that right, Dom?
True. I had a Factor meal literally right before I got on. Went to the gym, had a Factor meal.
Boom. So eat smart at factormeals.com/powerspike50 off and use the code powerspike50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code powerspike50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off plus free shipping. One more time. That's factormeals.com/powerspike50 off and use the code powerspike50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Thanks to our friends over at Factor. Oh man, I don't want this episode to end. This is just going down memory lane here, and just
Boomer talk.
so many boomer talk stories, and then ones where Jamada either knows about it already or can chime in. I love it. All right, now we'll close it out here with the inverse. Unless there was something else that you guys want to do. Let's do the GOAT team, because as much as there's been tragedy, there's been so much success with this GenG team that I feel like I want to celebrate. And it's unfair because like last year was a different team, the bot lane was different, but the run that this team has had, the win percentage over the last 2 years is insane. But even now, just this team is so dominant, playing on such a different level than everyone else. It just kind of feels like I am watching the greatest team ever to play League of Legends. That I guess hasn't won the World Championship yet, but it's so clear how much faster they're playing, how quickly they respond to other teams' plays, and then coming back to them. So let's start here. And Jamada, we'll start with you first because Dom encyclopedia'd you. So 2025 GenG, is this the best team to have ever played League of Legends, or what other teams come to mind that could rival them?
Okay, my nephew could show here. I think relative to the time, can we do it like that? Relative to the time?
Yeah.
I think, and maybe this is a bit of nostalgia because this is when I hopped on the LoL Esports train, as it were. Samson White, 2014. Those guys revolutionized the vision and the way that the jungle was played and the way it was looked at. So I think there's always going to be an argument for them, at the very least, just in that box of that World Championship specifically. Because obviously, if you remember the story, it was basically always them and Samsung Blue going back and forth. I think, obviously, Dynasty T1, people obviously bring up Dynasty T1, 2015, 2016, 2017, that entire like stretch of time, people are going to be willing to bring up. And maybe this is some of my LPL bias and love for the year. 23 JDG was kind of insane, Like,
they were super fucking insane.
I think in terms of ceiling, there might not be. There were games that you would look at with JDG, and I don't get this feeling with GenG. There were games and game states with JDG 2023 where you would look at and go, yeah, these guys have to be fucked. Like, there's no way they will come back from whatever the deficit is, 3K, 4K. And they will just team fight their way out of basically every single hole ever. And it was fucking despicable. Like, I don't know. I haven't watched a team like that basically since, like, anytime T1 do like the magic bullshit, like the magic aura bullshit moments, JDG had that on lock, and they're Chinese. Like, that as an org, they're Chinese. How often do you get to get that out of LPL teams? I feel like the answer is not fucking often. So for me, JDG 23 has a very, very special place in my heart, because that stretch of spring, basically almost doing the Golden Road, right? Was it not for Keria effectively single-handedly, by the looks of things, changing the support meta on a dime, right? And you could see it based on who seemed to have been scrimming who, because as soon as we hit semis, it was like, yeah, we're not playing Engage Sports anymore. Caitlyn, Renata, Ashe, like Kalista, like this magically just turned into the meta. And JDG couldn't play it as well as T1. So I feel like there's a good shout for JDG 23, Samsonite 2014, Dynasty T1. Those are like the front runners in my head. I think one team that I wouldn't actually want to give it to is the BLG lineup of the last few years. I don't think they're in the conversation, weirdly enough. I think people obviously look at the team very, very fondly because they are a fun team to watch at the top end. But I think they unfortunately don't bear the accolades, right? Like JDG at the very least do by winning MSI 23. even if a lot of us, and I said it, I think when we started to see the dip off at the start of the year, BLG might be one of the best teams to never touch an international title ever. In my mind, like the 23 to 24 BLG, like think about who they second place to throughout, or like third, fourth place to, or in every international in that period. It was JDG. They fucked themselves with the Weibo series, right? Like they played poorly in the semis in 23. But even if they went to finals, most people probably still would have had BLG as favorites over T1. Like as much love as everyone has, I think we would maybe be doing some revisionism if we said that BLG wouldn't be favorites for 23 World Finals based on what happened that year. And then GenG in 24 to MSI, and then last year World's Finals, T1 again. That is a crazy stretch of performances to not bring home a title. So I think they'll be the best team to not touch an international, but I don't think they're in the conversation of best team like how we're having it here with GenG. I think that conversation belongs to JDG, to Dynasty T1, and to Samson White in 2014.
Yeah, I think now that you bring up those points, I think a better way to frame it would have been the most dominant teams, because then you can add in a couple of those teams. You could probably add in G2 of the last of 2022 to 2024 maybe, but we are witnessing one of the greatest teams ever. Like that's why I'm like, okay, maybe this is just cream of the crop talk, because we have the opportunity to do that now. Compared,
it's been like 2 years of this from GenG as well. Like the bot lane, even replacing the bot lane, I think they have the best top side of all time. Keen, Canyon, Chovy, like the way that they play the map is so much different than any other top side. And it's crazy to have a mid top jungle that just doesn't int. Like so many mid top jungle players will just run it down at a point, but they have the most consistent mid top jungle ever, which is fucking so hard to get, because I mean, if you play jungle, if you play top lane, it's so easy to just kill yourself. Like it's so easy to fucking do some shit and just be like, yeah, well, I made a mistake. But it feels like they even if they do make those mistakes, the responses, how crisp they are at understanding how to play sidelines is just next level. I care, like when I'm talking about the best teams of all time, I don't actually care about world titles. Like I'm caring about dominance, like as the main thing. And like, that's why it's either the GenG lineup, like this core, but you could say this year, last year it's very comparable. The way they play the game is very similar. Or that JDG lineup, where it just felt like the way that they played the game is so consistent. And I mean, you're talking about teams that, like GenG, obviously they lost some best of fives at the beginning of winter, so they lost more best of fives already than I guess JDG did all year, but they will play more. But it just felt like these teams are just so insanely consistent. And that's like what I'm really looking at, is how consistent are they as an elite team. And it does feel like GenG is just consistently mega elite. And the way that the drafts that they pull off, no other team is pulling off that draft. You give, bro, if I told my team to play Pike Nidalee, it's over. Like we're losing. We're losing. You know how well you have to play to execute a Pike Nidalee MF draft to make that shit look OP. You have to be so on point. Pike Nidalee MF Aurora Aatrox. That's your draft in game 5. And it's actually a good draft in that situation if you play it like extremely well with spacing and understand exactly what you need to do in the game. But it is so impossible to do that shit. Like, that's just a next level of operating that we haven't seen. To do that shit in a game 5 is fucking crazy. So,
I've got to say,
to me, it's either the recent GenG or JDG.
I think it'll be worse if we weren't in Fearless. I actually think GenG would be an infinitely better team too, because then they just don't have to. They could just focus on exactly what they want to do, instead of like kind of being pressured a bit to make sure they also have the depth to back that up. And the fact that they have the depth to back that up and pull out Nidalee Pike, I think is an even bigger testament to just how fucking good this team currently is compared to the field.
Yeah, I've pulled up just the different the history of the different leagues here. If you click on it and then it shows the runs. The early EDG, like the 2014, the Name EDG was pretty dominant. That's the throwback for the kids. Like when I think of regional dominance, at least like Team Liquid just running over everyone for the period where they did, and then got stronger when they're like, all right, Poe, make space. We're getting Jensen. That was kind of crazy. Sorry, Ole. We're getting Core. That was kind of crazy. Let's see who else. Like dominant periods. The G2 dominant period wasn't as long as I thought it was. It was only summer 2023 to summer 2024. I thought it was 2 years, but
I mean, it was pretty much 2 years. They lost one spring.
It was weird because it's like even if G2 didn't win a title, it still felt like they were just the strongest team, even if they didn't win that particular split, which I think that just kind of speaks to the strength of that roster domestically,
and then
and this previous iteration even.
Yeah, the caps, perks, caps, kind of flip flop. I'm bored of just playing this, so I'm gonna play AD carry kind of shit. That was nuts. We skipped the Damwon period, back-to-back years running the LCK, and going back-to-back finals. They were the only team to do that until T1 brought him back. I guess T1 did that before, but T1 and Samsung did that. So they joined them doing that. That was a pretty dominant period. But I feel like when I think of the Damwon rosters, I think of like brute force. But when I think of GenG, it is JDG level complete package type shit. Like complete package type shit. And it's just, I don't know. Are we coming to a conclusion? Is it just this GenG team? Like, I'm skipping by the Samsung one a little bit more, Jamada, because Samsung Blue was supposed to be the team.
Supposed to be better.
They were supposed to be the guys, and they just ended up picking it up at the right time from Samsung Blue, and then Samsung White ended up being the one that goes down in history. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I just hope that if GenG lose again, which the possibility of it is high, there's just a ton of teams. But if they end up losing again, the player base, now that we're older, can still appreciate and remember how fucking good they are. They are so good. They are so good. Even after, the streak ends and everyone's like, whatever, and I got the pick right or whatever. But like, this team is so good. I was texting Josh, and I was like, thanks for the ticket, man. And he goes, yeah, I hope we can win today. And I said, I picked you guys because even the greatest teams in history will lose. And they did. And he was like, yep, well, I hope we win. He didn't agree with like them being the greatest team ever, but he was like, he understood what I was saying. And I just, yeah, man, it is just a really cool thing to watch. So yeah, I hope that Dom, on the day that GenG play, there's a potential that DNF also play, and I know that you got a co-stream LPL, but I hope that you watch it so you can see greatness into tragedy.
I try to watch
watching
as little DNF as possible.
Is like it's its own entertainment.
They're such a pathetic team. I really hate watching them play. Like there's certain teams that just piss me off. Like most Nirvana teams piss me off, but like DNF pissed me off, and then like Rogue really pissed me off. Like there's something that doesn't bother me that much about like Disguised, because at least they make it quick. It's like they're just outclassed. So they show up and they just get railed and they go home, and it's like, whatever, it is what it is. Like DNF, they're so creative in how they invent new ways to lose on a daily basis, where it really does shock me. It's just like it's almost intentional in a way. It's like, yo, you want to lose. That's what it is. Like
battery life, but.
Like
I can't hear you at all anymore.
Oh,
there we go. Gotcha. All right.
Welcome back, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's just DNF.
Right,
they just want to lose. It is what it is. They just want to lose. That's my take.
No way. I don't want to be thinking about Berserker doing push-ups, man. That guy needs to be thinking about how he can push the lane even better with trust that his jungler and his support aren't gonna fucking grief him. Fuck. I hope they build around him next year.
Jesus.
All right. That does it here for us for this episode. A little bit of filler as the season is getting underway, but we went a little too deep in the memory lane. But it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Hope that you guys enjoyed it at home. Let us know who your greatest team of all time is, who your WOT team is, what you think about Faker signing for 4 more years, and the state of league content. I think those are the other big things that we would love to hear from you about. Thanks again to our partners here making the show run. in both Wooting and Factor. Check those out as well. Wooting.io. Use the code SPIKE and factormeals.com/powerspike50 off. You can catch the boys doing the coach stream. You can catch Jamada doing his content on the side as well. I'll be on all 5 days this week over at the LCK. No rest. Burnout imminent. But we'll still be here next week to break down the world of League of Legends. Until then, take care. See you later.